Hello and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where I spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror film and we discuss it. Today, I am very excited because we are talking 2011's Red State, which was directed by Kevin Smith. I'm your host, Alec, and joining me for the first time ever is Soggy Corn Chipz. So, welcome to the show, Soggy. I'm so excited to have you on. So, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me. I'm grateful for the opportunity, man.
I can't wait. Because you were telling me that you are a huge Kevin Smith fan, and I have been dying to cover this movie for so long, but I wanted to wait until I got a Kevin Smith fan like you. So, a little bit, just tell me a little bit about your Kevin Smith experience. Like, what's your favorite Kevin Smith movie? When did you get into him? Tell me all about it.
Chasing Amy, 97 or so is what got me. I was in like seventh or eighth grade.
Yeah.
Um, Dad and I always rented movies, always watched movies together. That one just always stood out. Found out that there was Mallrats and Clerks before that, checked them out, and just as he put stuff out, stuck with it.
That's interesting. So you saw Chasing Amy before Clerks?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. I love
Like it,
Chasing
like
Amy.
as a new release, like VHS from the video store. And then I
Yep.
was like, I want to find other stuff. I knew Dad was always big into certain directors and followed them. I was like, I think this might be my director, and this kept going.
Yeah, the early 90s was such a great time because it's like you got this resurgence of like indie directors like Paul Thomas Anderson and Richard Linklater and Kevin Smith and Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez, which is like all of these indie people. And I love Kevin Smith. I mean, Clerks was the first movie I saw of his. I worked at a video store in high school, and I always saw that X. It was the Clerks 10th anniversary
Yep.
DVD with the X on it, and I was like, "What is this?" And I always thought it was Malcolm X. I was like, oh, "Okay, it's a Malcolm X movie," but I was like, "Oh no, it's the 10th year anniversary of Clerks." So I remember buying that, falling in love with Kevin Smith, and you know what? Actually, the first one I ever saw of his was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. That was the first
Okay.
one. I was 12 when it came out, and I remember it was on pay-per-view, and I just loved it. And then I found out they're from another movie, and then I saw Clerks. Chasing Amy I also love too because they mentioned the Hartford Whalers, and I'm from Connecticut, and I was always like, "Let's
Nice.
go! Somebody's talking about them. Let's go." But yeah, no, Kevin Smith's a great director, one of my favorites too. I want to say I've seen all of his movies except for Yoga Hosers, and the newest one he just came out, like 4:30, I think.
430 movie I really enjoyed. I liked it. It's
Mm.
just good, touch your heartstrings, just enjoyable.
Yeah, he's really good at doing that, where it's like it's raunchy, but it's also heartfelt. And before we jump into this movie, I always ask people the first time they've been on the podcast, like, what's your favorite scary movie or horror film? And again, I know that's a hard question, so if you don't have a specific one, what's a favorite genre or something like that?
So horror genre, I love the stuff there's no monsters, no magic, real people. That's extra scary to me. That
Mm.
this is shit that can actually happen. People are mad enough, crazy enough that they can do this. Things like The Collector,
Oh yeah,
the
oh yeah,
collection, that trilogy, if they ever make the third one of that, love
yep.
those. That's why I like the Saw movies, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I remember watching Toby Hooper's original at like 8 years old and just, yeah, that's scary. There's no monster. That's just a crazed family. And I love the stuff without monsters. I do love monster movies, but those are my jam without.
That's good to hear. What about you ever seen Funny Games?
Oh, yeah. Or
That
what would you
movie.
do?
I haven't seen that one. What would you
Or
do?
would you rather? Would you rather?
Oh yeah, 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 yep,
Yeah.
yeah. That one's intense too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Funny Games mess me up. Last House on the Left messed me up. Like those kind of
Now, did you
movies are.
watch the original Last House on the Left or the
Oh yeah,
remake?
both
Okay.
of them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've covered both of them. The original is like next level. I mean, the remake is like pretty Hollywood, so it's like a little bit more bearable. But that original one, you're like, this feels like it should
So
be
I
canceled.
found out about the original when Jason X came out. We were watching special features on it, and they were
Yeah.
talking about Wes Craven's first and talking about that. I was like, we got to find it. And this was 20, 30 years ago when it was hard to find anything on DVD. YouTube wasn't a thing. And we found the original and then that, and then we went to I Spit on Your Grave after that. And that was just another
Yeah.
revenge horror, just stands out still all these years.
Yeah, man, they're definitely the really scary ones because again, like there's no vampires, there's no demons, there's no ghosts, it's just fucked up people. So
Yeah,
I hear you, man. That's a
and
scary
they're out
genre.
there, and
Oh
they
yeah,
are out
definitely.
there. So,
Ooh, you know what's another good one? You ever seen Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer?
oh yeah,
That one's
absolutely.
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
that one's brutal too. So yeah, I'm well versed in these kind of movies. So good to get your Kevin Smith experience and a bit of your horror information. So this was a really interesting movie because nowadays a lot of comedic directors and writers are moving into horror and they're doing great at it. I mean,
yeah.
Jordan Peele,
Jordan Peele.
obviously,
Yeah,
Zach Kreger, even Danny McBride writing the
Halloween.
Halloween. Yep.
Yeah,
So a lot of comedians have transitioned into horror, but I feel like Kevin Smith gets overlooked. I mean, he did this in 2011 and he was known for comedy, like strictly comedy.
stoner comedy. Just
Yep.
yeah, stupid, idiotic.
hmm And then for him to go from like Jersey Girl to this, you're
Yeah,
like, whoa, where is this coming from? And I think he nailed it. I love this
I
movie.
love
And
Red State.
yeah,
I've loved it since it came out.
yep, man. And it's such a good movie that I just feel like did not get enough attention because it like I don't think it was in theaters. I think it was like
No,
straight to streaming.
he did like little tours with it. He did like a little roadshow tour with it. It wasn't in theaters, but he toured with it.
hmm
And like it's something that he presented to the Weinstein brothers and they denied it and accepted Zach and Miri. And so he had to do it independent. Otherwise, he would have just done those back to back.
Right. And I think he's like had to do that a couple times. I feel like Clerks 3, he maybe had to do
Yeah.
that too. It's like, but which is like kind of a cool idea. It's like the filmmaker's gonna move from city to city and it's gonna be like a big event. Like I actually did see Kevin Smith when I was probably like 19 in Connecticut somewhere. He came and did like a talking venue and I was like, I love this guy. He's the man.
Oh, I
So
could watch his evening with Kevin Smith shows any day of the week.
yeah.
He's so fun to talk to.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely a down to earth guy. And I still got to get to his Jay and Silent Bob like comic book store in Red Banks, New Jersey. I'm not that
Yeah.
far from it in Connecticut, but yeah, I want to get out there.
Secret stash.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, so he comes out with this horror movie. He was able to get $4 million to make it, and I think he made it stretch because when you look at the cast in this movie alone, and to know that
Yeah.
there's a $4 million budget with John Goodman, like what? John Goodman's in this
Yeah.
freaking movie. And then you got Stephen Root, who I feel like, at this point wasn't as big of an actor, but now he's huge. Like
Yeah. He
Widow's
was on his
Bay.
way.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, this was like halfway through his rise. You've got
Kevin
Michael
Pollock.
Kevin Pollock. I was so surprised when he died. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
Like, oh, there's Kevin Smith. Oh, there's Kevin Pollock. Oh, there goes Kevin Pollock. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, literally. First thing I ever saw Kevin Pollock in was I think Wayne's World 2, where he's got the fake eye. That was the first time I ever
Right on.
saw him, and he stood out from there. Um, and then my one, I can never remember his name, but Michael, is it Angario? No, 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 no. The guy who played the preacher, or Michael Parks.
Michael Parks. Yeah.
Oh my God. So you got
Nails it.
those three guys. That alone should cost $4 million probably. But they all, oh, and Melissa Lito. She won Best Actress at the, or Best Supporting Actress for The Fighter like the year before or whatever.
And one of the boys too, was in that Strange Darling. He's coming up.
Yep. Kyle Gallner. Yep.
And the other kid was in Lords of Dogtown back in the day.
Yep. And then the
Like
other
there's
guy is in Succession. He's cousin
yeah,
Greg from Succession. So everybody is like, is about to become a big actor or already was. So
yeah.
really impressive. And yeah, so basically the plot of the movie, in case you haven't seen it, which I'm assuming you probably have, otherwise you wouldn't be listening to this podcast, but it's about a group of guys, three guys in high school in, I don't know what state this takes place. I want to say Texas. I want to say Texas, but somewhere down south. And these three boys find online, there's this website where like you can kind of chat with men or women or whatever, and you can go meet up with them and basically you hook up. And these three boys are like, all right, we're going to go to this trailer park where we're going to find this woman and do this. But right in the beginning, you start to notice there's something about this town, which they do a good job setting it up very quickly, where there's this really extreme Christian evangelical like cult, basically. And they're led by Michael Parks and I believe, what are they called? Cooper's something. Um,
Five
Cooper,
points.
the 5 points.
The
That's
five
right.
points. Yeah.
Yeah, the
I
five
just
points.
watched it 30 minutes ago. I just finished it again just because, but
And it's short. It's a short movie too,
yeah,
so it just really gets to the point. And in this town, they've got essentially, I think they're parodying the Westboro Baptist Church, where the people are just kind of like, super anti everything. They're anti-gay. They're anti just anything that's not like straight Christian, basically. So we see them protesting a funeral of a gay kid in the beginning. Everybody in the class, they're in school. The teacher's talking about how horrible these guys are, and whatever. They're like, just ignore them, whatever. But where these three kids are going to meet up with this girl to hook up with, or woman to hook up with, is in this place where the cult is. And they're like, whatever, we're gonna go. Doesn't matter. So I really thought like that's like all in the first like 10 minutes. Like they really set up what's gonna happen pretty quickly. Um, and then we kind of move into the bulk of the movie. I really think the pacing was great, and like that's why it was so short. Is it just kind of just moves quick. You haven't meet John Goodman. You don't meet anybody really except for the three boys. And you think they're the leads. You're like, okay, these are the leads of the movie. The leads change throughout the movie, basically. Um, so it starts off with those three boys. They get to the trailer park and they meet. And stop me if I'm forgetting anything or if there's anything you want to comment on. I'll just kind of move through the plot slowly. But
that mullet, that
Billy
mullet.
Ray, yeah.
He lives up to that Billy Ray name.
Billy Ray's. Yeah, I know. I love the line where it's just like they pull up to the trailer. It's just like, she lives in a trailer. And it's like, you
Yeah,
live in a trailer,
yeah,
motherfucker. And he's just like, I'm just saying.
yeah.
So they get up to this. Yeah, Billy Ray's got a mullet. And they get into the trailer and basically they see Melissa Leto. And she says she's 38. I think she's probably in her 60s, but she says she's 38. And she gets them a bunch of beers. They start drinking it. They're all excited. And immediately the beers are drugged. So they
And she's
all
making
black
sure
out.
that they drink it up. Like
Yep.
and also when she takes the beers out of the fridge, there's no lids on them already. Like they're already open.
And that's the thing. I mean, these boys are probably 15, 16 years old, maybe 17,
Yeah.
and they're just like, let's go. Like, we don't care about anything. We're not thinking about anything. Like, you shouldn't.
Sexcapades from the internet.
Yeah. And this
The
is
catch a
early.
predator comment got me when they're in class. They're like, what if this is a catch a predator thing? They're like, we're the minors here, guys. They're like,
Right. Right. Yeah. Like, what if we get in trouble? It's like she should be the one getting in
yeah,
trouble. But
yeah, we're the prey.
yeah, yeah. So they show up and they're just they're super excited. They're drinking,
They
they're
sideswipe the car on the way.
Oh, good call. Good
Yes.
call. Yes. So as they're driving in, there's a car on the side of the road. They're not paying attention. They're looking at their phones like they're talking, and they smash into this car. And it's just the side of it. So it's the car still works or whatever. But we find out it was Stephen Root, who's the sheriff of the town, who's having a gay affair with some random guy. And he can't stop the car because if he does, then people will be like, well, what were you doing in the middle of nowhere, just sitting there or whatever? So that added a whole nother layer too, where this sheriff is cheating on his wife with a man. He's clearly embarrassed about it, and he can't tell the truth because the truth would reveal his secret, essentially. So I thought that was a great added scene. But it
Yeah.
also made me think, if this guy's getting a blowjob when the car hits him, what'd you think that was? I was thinking that guy's gonna bite his dick off, but anyway, whatever.
Right? Like that would
Yeah,
scare the shit out of somebody.
yeah.
Nobody jumped when they sideswiped them. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there would be some sort of
yeah.
reaction there,
The guy
guys.
is still down there. He's just like, is it safe? It's like, I think it's safe
Yeah.
now. But yeah, so there was that huge thing, which leads to Stephen Root going back to the police station and being like, hey, I need you to go check out this fucking car. Some guy just smashed into me. I think it was a bunch of kids or whatever. And that actor is Badger from Breaking
Badger,
Bad.
Matt
Yeah.
Smith, yeah.
And also
Oh, and Skylar
Skyler.
is
Yeah.
the mom, yeah.
Dude. And it's like a
All kinds of
cameo.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this is like halfway through Breaking Bad. And they're like, do you want to get the mom from Breaking Bad for like one scene? It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like that was crazy. So yeah, Skyler from Breaking Bad's in it. Matt Smith from Breaking Bad is another one of the cops. So he goes out to investigate the car crash or whatever, and then we cut back to the cult, the 5 Points compound or whatever. And at this point, the boys are drugged and they're tied up. So Kyle Gallner is in a dog cage with a sheet over it, and you hear like spiritual hymns being sang, and he's being pushed by a cart. and he gets to this church and he's like on the stage or whatever, and he sees another guy who we don't know who he is, and he's tied to a cross with
Saran wrapped.
saran
Yeah.
wrap. Yeah. And I did see online what they wanted to do is they wanted to put like this deer head or a ram's head on
He
his.
wanted a goat head initially, and they
Yeah.
told him that was too small. He would need a ram's head. They're like, oh, that's $5,000. And that was all of his special effects budget. So they're like, well, let's do saran wrap. That's easiest to clean up to contain the blood. So they went with the saran wrap instead of the ram head and
Dude,
spending their entire budget. And it was original. I loved it.
I thought it was
It
terrifying. I
was
mean,
clean. Yeah.
yeah. And so what they do is the guy is tied up to a cross with saran wrap, but then they wrap his head around in it too, and then put the gun here and shoot down, and it just fills up with blood. And I was
And
like,
the
whoa.
flame that it burns when they shot him was perfect.
Oh my God. I think that was way more brutal than seeing
Yeah,
like an animal head on it. So yeah,
absolutely.
that was fucked up. And then Kyle Gallner's watching it. He's freaking out. The whole family's just sitting there like la la la, like singing the hymns or whatever. And Michael Parks, who is the leader of this cult, is just like a deranged preacher who's just kind of completely in his own head, changing the meaning of the Bible to fit his narrative. And, it even says, like, in the Bible, it says, thou shalt not kill. It's like, but it's referring to people. You wouldn't
The-
kill like a bug or whatever. And these
These
are
are
bugs.
insects. Yep.
Yeah. It's like, you wouldn't be sad if you killed a germ, right? And it's just like, these are people. Like, you're just deciding they're not people. So he's crazy. And everybody in the church is completely bought into this. I mean, there's young kids, there's his daughter. I think he doesn't have a wife, I don't think, but it's just a bunch of, I think there's 25 people, they
They
say.
all call him daddy or grandpa or yep.
Yeah, they're all related to some degree too, it seems like. So it's a very insulated cult, and they are stocked with guns. They have so many guns all in this big room. So it's definitely a dangerous thing. I think they're trying to like, parody Waco essentially, or just make a commentary on the Waco incident as
It's
well.
like a combination of Waco and Fred Phelps with the Westboro Baptist and all that. And
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of both of those in there.
Yeah, no, it's definitely exactly that. So the boys are freaking out, our main characters, and the one guy gets shot in the head, his body falls down. They take Kyle Gallner, they wrap him up essentially. But when that body of the other guy falls down, it drops into this trap door where Billy Ray and I think Trent is his name, the other kid, are down there and they're tied up saran wrap too. However, the guy falls down and one of his bones breaks out of his skin, and they're able to use the bone to cut through the saran wrap. So that's luckily how they're able to escape. In the meantime, though, Badger from Breaking Bad, he gets to the compound because he has to investigate the car. And at that time, he sees or they see the cop car pull up. They're like, fuck. So they end their little sermon for a second. Michael Parks goes out to address the cop, and they have this kind of like weird back and forth. And it made me just think like, the cop sees the car. He's like, that's that car I'm looking for over there. And he's just like, oh, that's my daughter. She's an idiot or whatever. He's like, how about I take care of it? You don't need to get the insurance involved or whatever. And the cop's like, I guess that would be all right. And I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? That's not
Yeah.
how that works.
Small town, please. No.
I didn't think so. I thought they would have been like,
Right.
no, we need to register this. Like, that's crazy. I don't even know if that's your car, but he
And
falls for it,
it was the sheriff's car that got hit. Like,
right?
why aren't we doing something? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna get back and be like, "I found it. It was, the crazy guy's daughter." He's like, Okay, did you get his information or whatever?" Yeah, because what's he gonna do? Go back and tell the sheriff like he said he'd pay you money. He's like,
He'll call you
"No."
tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, "No. What the fuck are we doing?" So that was a little weird. But then what happens is Greg from Succession, Billy Ray, he leaves the other guy because he escapes and he's like, dude, I can't get your things off. They're too tight and they're coming down here to get us. So he runs and he finds the gun room. So he gets this AK-47. And in my brain, because I haven't seen this movie in maybe like 5 years, I thought he was going to go to shoot it and it wasn't loaded or it wasn't like, cocked or whatever. And it would be like, and it wouldn't work. And then he was going to get shot. That's what I thought happened. But nope. He takes the AK-47, it's fully loaded, fully ready to go, and he just unloads and shoots this one guy who's, trying to capture him. But he
So he
also
gets shot first.
he
Yeah.
shoots he
And then
shoots
he
Greg,
shoots
yeah.
as he's falling. Yeah. He
Yeah.
shoots Caleb.
Right, because he's standing there with the gun. He's just like, "Let's go, motherfucker!" And then just
Yeah.
opens the door, bam, right in the head. And he's like,
Yeah.
"Grrr," and then falls down. Yeah. So that was, and that's what sets off the whole incident. Basically, at that point, Matt Smith or the Badger from Breaking Bad, he's like, "What the fuck was that?" sort of thing. And then immediately, somebody who shoots him, somebody shoots him with a gun. It wasn't Michael Parks, was it?
No, Malachi or whatever his name was. He comes up from behind with a shotgun and shoots him.
And
So
yeah, he's like,
I
"I'll take
says,
care of it."
I got him, Daddy, or something like that.
That's
And
right.
then
So yeah,
Caleb that Billy Ray shot, that's one of Kevin Smith's best friends, Ralph Garman, that they do the Babylon podcast and stuff together.
that's right. I did read that Kevin Smith officiated his wedding a couple
Yeah.
years ago. So yeah,
And
they're
then
definitely good friends.
Kevin's wife's in it too. I don't know if you're aware. Jennifer's
Yeah.
on there
Yep. She's the lady that shot in the head on the roof
on the roof.
later in the
Yeah.
movie. Yeah. She's been in a bunch of his movies. She was in Jay and
All
Silent
of
Bob
them.
Strike Back.
She's in
Yeah.
all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. She's the wife from Clerks too. She's Dante's wife.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they've got a nice little family there. So then at this point, the cop's dead. Michael Smith is dead. But before he does, he radios to Stephen Root and he's like, "We got fucking shots fired. I need help right now." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's just like, "God damn it." So
Is that
Stephen,
gunfire?
yeah, he hears like all this. He's like, "Holy shit!" So Stephen Root at this point is like, "I have to kill myself." He's like, I'm in too deep over my head. My wife is gonna leave me. This town is gonna turn its back on me. I don't know what I'm gonna do." And right before he does, he looks over and he sees the ATF like wanted posters on the wall, and he's like, they can stop these guys. So the next shot, I love this. Felt like a Coen's brother movie. The
The
next scene.
transitions are great.
Yeah, it cuts right to John Goodman in bed and he gets a phone call or whatever. And I loved this. I know it's bad, but I loved it. When he woke up, the second he got consciousness, he just grabbed a cigarette. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And his wife is just like cool with it. She's like sleeping. It's 4 a.m. and just like a cigarette and a guy yelling on the phone, like, yeah, yeah, we'll get him, sort of thing. I was like, I would hate that if my wife
Yeah.
did something like that. Um, so we find out I don't he works for the ATF, but he seems like he's kind of lower down, but he's very knowledgeable about the situation. So we just hear him. We never even see the guy on the other line, but he's just filling him in on this cult. And he's like, "Yep, they got 25 people. They're stocked full of guns. We've been checking in on them or whatever, but they're just a religious cult." And they decide we're going in. We want you to go in there and get them out. And he's like, "Okay, I don't think this is a good idea, but." Okay, we can be there in an hour, essentially. So next shot, I believe they are just right on the ground. So they've got
Yeah.
SWAT team, everything's ready to go. Kind of reminded me a little bit of Cabin in the Woods too. The dynamic between those two guys, just the way that Kevin Pollak and John Goodman were just like very casual about it, for a
Yeah.
while.
Just another day.
Yeah, just like, oh boy, psychopaths or whatever. And then Kevin Pollak just gets shot in the head out of nowhere. Very unexpected.
Yeah. Let's get a call in there. And he's like, I don't know if that's gonna, and then he's gone.
Bam. And yep, so he's down, and that just erupts this massive shootout for basically the rest of the movie. It's
And
just
that's
like a,
Michael Parks shooting out the window saying, let's go. He basically told him, let's do it.
yep, he's all on board because in his mind, he thinks like this is the
Well,
rapture, this is the
actually,
end.
back up
Oh.
where Billy Ray, or not Billy Ray, but the other kid comes running out, and Sheriff
Mm.
Stephen Root shoots him because he's carrying a gun
Yep.
but not firing. And that was the first shot was Stephen Root shot somebody.
Yes,
And then
that
John
scene was
Goodman told
great.
him to go sit in his fucking car.
I love that whole sequence, man, because at this point, the three main kids that we assume are the leads, one of them's dead. Billy Ray's dead. The other one from Lords of Dogtown, he just, this I loved. He pretends to be
He laid
dead.
under Billy Ray's
Yeah.
body. Yeah.
That was great. So the cult goes, they find Billy Ray's body, and then they find and then the other kid, Trent, like lies under him. So they're like, oh, they're both got shot. And they're like, good, sort of thing. And they leave. And then Trent gets up and he's like, fuck. He's like, they think I'm dead. So he grabs a gun, he tries to escape. He does escape, and then immediately gets shot in the head. And you're right. That's when we know that the ATF is set up on the perimeter.
Yeah.
And that sucked. You're like, oh, what a gut punch.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it. And yeah, it was Stephen Root, the local cop, and and John Goodman's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he's like, he had a gun. He's like, he did not shoot at us. And he's like, get in your fucking car. And then Stephen Root running and falls and then gets up. I was like, oh, this is so good.
And
I
him
love it.
falling was not scripted. That was an accident, and they left it. He's like, John Goodman scared the shit out of me. It just looked good, so we left it.
Perfect, perfect,
Yeah,
perfect shot, dude. Literally, I'm so glad that was natural because like
right.
you couldn't have staged that better. Um, so then yeah, at this point, Stephen Rooster's in his car for the rest of the movie. Kind of sucks. You never really see him again until he gets shot randomly. But
He's
yeah,
getting
so
head in his car both times when he enters and when he leaves.
yeah, exactly. Maybe that was what Kevin Smith wanted. He's like, you're always
That
getting head.
is actually he Kevin said he's got 10 Easter eggs in this movie and only that one has been ever been brought up. And he will only
Uh,
discuss them when people bring them up to him, and that's the only one.
okay, all right. Well, I guess I'll have to figure out some other ones.
Right.
So yeah, I'd say for like the next 30 minutes or so, it's basically just like an all-out gunfight.
Shootout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, this sequence is incredible because like you would look at Clerks and Chasing Amy and Mallrats, it's like, okay, these are all like comedies or romantic comedies or whatever. Then you're getting like a fucking Saving Private Ryan intense action scene that you're like, where did you learn how to do this, Kevin Smith? It's really
Yeah.
intense. The John Goodman scene where he's behind the car and it's just bullets are flying around him and he's yelling on the phone to his superior officer about like, because the superior officer is like, we're just gonna fucking bomb them, fucking kill them all, get rid of them all. And John Goodman's like, there are kids in there, we can't do this, and I want this in writing that I said we shouldn't do this, and you said you wanted to do it.
I want
Um,
something to cover my ass. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Because he said something about you said this was a simple in and out. Well, simple just something. I don't even remember now.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So I think it's like simple just shit itself or something like
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
And then John Goodman's, lesser officers or whatever are like, what are we doing? Like, we're just going to start shooting all these people? Like, we shot first. And he's like, no, we didn't shoot first. The fucking cop shot first.
Yeah.
We didn't do
Locals.
that. But that's the thing, man. Like the news, when this all gets a handle of it, that's gonna be overlooked. It's gonna be like they shot first. That's all it's gonna say is the cult didn't shoot first. That's what
Yeah.
mattered. So yeah, from this point forward, I mean, for the next literally like good chunk of the movie, it kind of just cuts from like room to room, people shooting each other. The Kyle Gallner, oh no, before that, one of the women, the younger women, a woman, she's a blonde-haired woman. You see her throughout the sermon or whatever.
She
She
kind of takes care
runs.
of the little kids.
Yeah, she's got the little
Yeah.
kids with her or whatever, and she runs out of the house and she gets caught by one of the SWAT team guys. And he's like, get on the ground. And again, having not seen this movie in about 5 years, I was like, oh, she's gonna whip out a gun and shoot this guy.
Right.
But didn't happen. She actually wanted to get out. She's like, I don't want to be part of this cult. I want to get out of here and I want the kids to get out of here. So she runs out there, and that's the incident where John Goodman tells his superior, his lower officers, he's like, nope, you have permission to shoot, fire at will, sort of thing. And the guy's like, I can't do this. But Melissa Leto, the mother, comes over and shoots the SWAT guy, drags the daughter back in the house, and is like, you can't disrespect this family. We're all meant to die here, basically. And that line right there says it all. It's like they don't want to escape, they want to die.
We're going to
So,
see your daddy and Jesus.
exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
So they're like dead set. They're like, nope, don't care. We're shooting. We're doing this. Another just like weird casual line too is when Michael Parks is shooting the guns and he's like, "Can you get me some sweet tea?"
Give me some sweet tea, darling.
Yeah, and
Yep.
she's like, "Right away, Daddy," and just goes and gets that. Not a lot of comedy in this movie, but little moments like that. So at this point, Kyle Gallner now meets up with that blonde girl, and she's like, "You are from the outside. You need to help me." And he's like, "I can't do anything." And she's like, "Well, they're gonna come in here and kill all of us." He's like, "Good." He's like, "You deserve this. You killed my best friends. Just fucking kill me. I don't even care about anything right now." So, then Melissa Leto comes in as they're kind of like fighting or whatever. And this girl really does want him to help. Like she thinks he can, even though he really can't.
They're just gonna
Um,
mix in with everybody else. Like you can say whatever. They're not gonna. I'm a hostage. Well, we
yeah,
don't fucking believe you.
exactly. I was like, what would I do in that situation? I'd be like, I'd hide in the closet and put my hands up, and they'd be like,
I'd go wrap myself back in cellophane in the basement and be like, that's how
yeah,
they need to find me is tied up somewhere.
that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Pretend you're dead. Yeah. And then
Right.
when they go take your bodies, be like, dude, by the way, I'm a hostage. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck,
Yeah.
I gotta shoot you anyway.
Yep.
Uh, But yeah, so they get in a fist, or not a fist fight, but just like a physical altercation. And then Melissa Leto comes in. She's like, "You get your hands off of her!" And the little blonde woman shoots her own mother. And I think she wanted to. I think she
Yeah,
wanted to do that.
it
And
was needed.
then it was needed. It was a little anticlimactic, but it was still kind of like, all right,
It's like
like,
she was trying to wrestle the gun from her and then kind of just went off, but she needed to and wanted to.
yeah, I kind of got the impression that she was just like, my mom is gonna make sure that we all fight to the death, and I can't let this happen. So at this point, the little kids come in the room, and she tells them like, you got to go hide in the attic. They're gonna come in here and try and kill us. So they go up there, they hide, and then the blonde girl and Kyle Gallner are like, "All right, let's go outside and try our best, basically, to try and convince them not to kill us." It goes terrible. They walk out and immediately both get shot. And you're like, "All right, well, that's the end of Kyle. That's the end of our
So
original leads."
Goodman's talking to him for a second, but then his under agent comes up and just taps them both and takes them out.
I know, and it's kind of weird because it's like John Goodman didn't want to do that, but he had to,
But
I
those are the
guess.
orders. Yeah, and then those are the orders he gave, and that dude didn't want to do it, but gotta follow orders. And it's like there's
Yeah.
not really a good guy in this movie.
Or truly, yeah. And he looks at John Goodman. He's like, "You good?" And he's just like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, you're good? Okay, because I had to
Yeah,
shoot them because you made me shoot them. So I just want to make
yeah,
sure you're good." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm good." Like, fuck. I didn't
yeah.
realize how intense that was gonna be. So yeah, so now all of our original main characters are dead. Most of the bad guys are dead too at this point. We mentioned earlier Joe Garman and Kevin Smith's wife. I can't remember her name right now, but they
Jennifer
go.
Schwabeck.
Jennifer Schwabeck, and they
Yeah,
go on the roof. They get shot, kind of just like no, and then mowed down. John Goodman gets a nice moment where he grabs a gun, and is like pew, pew. So it
yeah.
shows that he's got his skills.
He's
Um,
not just the given directions. He knows what to do too.
yeah,
He had to
exactly.
get his
So
shots in.
and he was good. He was good. And then at this point, I believe the next thing is they're all shooting guns, and then we hear the siren go off or whatever.
Trumpets,
The
yeah.
trumpets, yeah. And it's like the end of days. This is like a biblical, the
The
Gabriel's
rapture.
horn or whatever. Yeah, the rapture, exactly. And all of the cult members are like, we did it! Like the cult, it's over. So they drop their guns, they walk outside, they're like, oh happy day, and they're like walking out, and they're just like all got the guns. And I just didn't understand why they didn't shoot them. I
Right?
just don't get it. Yeah. They had no problem shooting those two younger kids who were just there, like, hey, like, please help us. Or like, boom,
Yeah.
boom. And then the lead bad guy is just like, you guys are demons and like, fuck you. And like getting in their
Yeah.
face. They're like, we'll let these guys go. And I was like, what the fuck? So I'm sure you know about the original ending, right?
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Have
that
you there's an animated version on YouTube if you've seen that.
I did. And I
Yeah.
liked it a lot. And I wish they kind of went in that direction. But why don't you fill
I
us
wish
in?
he could have afforded. So basically that was the actual rapture happening when the siren started going off and the ATF agents, the church people, their heads and chests started exploding is the original plan.
Hmm.
And then John Goodman basically is the only one that makes it. And when he uncovers his face, Michael Parks explodes in front of him. And then he sees basically the four horsemen of the apocalypse and just tell him, shh. And that's how they were going to do it.
And I don't know. I kind of wish that is what happened because we'll explain what the actual ending of the movie is, and it was just budget restrictions, which is
Yeah.
kind of crazy because I feel like wasn't the ending of Dogma kind of like this, where it was like this big like
Alanis Morissette, God shows up. Yeah.
yeah,
They basically would have had the same similar endings, but not as funny.
yeah, right, right. So I was
So,
like,
yeah.
you couldn't afford that, but I was like, all right.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so what ends up actually happening is these trumpets are going off, and Michael Parks and John Goodman are like right in each other's face, and all of a sudden it just cuts to
Just
black.
cuts to a fucking interrogation or not. John
Yeah.
Goodman talking to superiors, basically.
And they're like, "So why didn't you kill him?" And he was just like, when I was a boy. And I was like, oh God. And he's like,
Why did you disobey a direct order?
yeah. And he's like, my
These
dad had
dogs.
Basset hounds or
Yep.
something, and they fought each other over a chicken bone one time, and it just made me think. And I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck are we talking
Yeah.
about? I'm like, Kevin Smith, I know you have a point here, but I don't think it's coming across that
No.
straightforward. Um, but yeah, so he just explains like, so what were the sirens? And he's like, oh, it was like a bunch of hippies who had a compost collective and they were fucking with the cult because they had fucked with them, and it was just this ongoing back and forth. And it's like, oh, okay. It's like, oh, and also by the way, it was actually a marijuana
Yeah.
whatever field. So yeah, we had to arrest him, but maybe go easy on him. And he's like, noted. And that's kind of it. I mean, he walks out of the room, and I feel like that's it, right?
They show Michael Parks singing in his
Oh,
prison
in jail.
cell.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then do you notice Kevin Smith's cameo at the end?
Oh, no, I didn't.
The voice saying, "Shut the fuck up."
That was him.
That's Kevin. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I did not realize that. Yeah, I mean, he's in most of his movies, so I was
Yeah.
like,
And just one line. All he needs is one line. So
yeah. No, I did not know that.
sticking with his typical Silent Bob fashion.
And that's the thing. It's like they do say that one line, or the guy's like, it's so ironic. He's gonna go to jail and he's gonna be getting like cock size or Coke can size cock
Coke.
shoved in his.
Yeah.
And I feel like Coca-Cola sponsored this movie, but in all the wrong ways. Because every
Right.
time Coca-Cola gets mentioned, it's just like, listen here, you
It's not
fat
in a
fuck.
refreshing way.
Yeah, it's like, why
Yeah.
don't you drink some Coca-Cola, you fat fuck? And then this one's like, he's gonna get a cock the size of a
Yeah.
Coke can. I was like, does Coke want this kind of like promotion? But that was the thing I was wondering. I was like, is Michael Parks, are we gonna see him getting like assaulted in the last scene?
Right.
But nah, it's just him sitting there singing hymns alone, and then and then Kevin Smith told him to go to shut the fuck up.
So also something else interesting with the movie is there's no score. There's no soundtrack. It's all
Ooh.
just music within the movie. It's the kids' radio playing in the car, or the church people singing, or Michael Parks singing.
I did not notice that, but I think you're right. That's very interesting. I wonder if
And
that
then
was
later,
intentional.
Michael Parks, it was. And then later, Michael Parks did go and actually record some of the stuff that he sang in the movie and recorded
Mm,
it. But he used to do like gospel with like Johnny Cash and stuff in the 70s. So
really?
he was an actual singer back in the day.
He's so talented too. I mean, I don't know. Are you a Twin Peaks fan?
Oh, I love, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's Jacques Renault. He's like one of the main first bad guys from the first season. He's the French Canadian guy, One Eye Jacks. And that was the first time I ever saw him. And I was like, dude, this guy is the man. And then in Tusk, he's like a German doctor in
Whenever
Twin
you want to cover
Peaks.
that one, you let me know, buddy.
Hell yeah.
We'll do it.
Hell yes, dude. We'll definitely do that one. But I just like his versatility and his accents. I mean, this one, he's like a South or a Southern American preacher. In Twin Peaks, he's French Canadian. In Tusk, he's German. And I buy Oh, and
And
then
nails him.
in fucking
Nails
Kill
it.
Bill, he's full Mexican in that,
Yeah,
which I'm like, I don't know if you can do that one. But
right.
he was just like, dude, this guy can do nothing. He's like one of the best actors ever. So
That's
I
like
just
Sean Connery as the Spaniard in Highlander. They had to mess
yeah.
one time up. So,
Right, right, right. I know, but it's just so interesting, like how he just like seems like he can do anything. And I just
and
love
if there
him.
was no Michael Parks, this movie wouldn't happen.
Oh yeah, yeah, I did hear that.
Kevin
Yeah.
wrote this for him when he saw Michael Parks in From Dusk Till Dawn
Hmm.
as the sheriff in that movie, is when he decided to write it for him. If he would have turned the role down, the movie would have never happened.
And it's so funny because that's the same thing Quentin Tarantino said about Christoph Waltz with Inglourious Basterds. He's like, if
Yeah,
I can't find this guy, then we're not making this movie.
it's not possible.
Yeah, and I almost feel like this movie still could have happened if they got a different guy, but I don't think Tusk could have happened. I feel like Michael
No.
Parks had to play that doctor. But he's fantastic in this. I mean, truly,
Yeah,
like even that last like delivery as he's walking from the cult to John Goodman, he's just so unhinged, but it's so believable. It's not like
yeah.
somebody doing like a Joker impression. It's like I believe this guy's psychopath.
And
Um,
that's what John Goodman was kind of talking about with his dogs. Something about believers believing that they deserve everything or something along those lines, but the dog's fighting.
Mm. Yeah, it was about like entitlement or something like
And
that. Like,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it's like really good, and I just don't feel like Kevin Smith gets enough does like respect for this movie.
yeah.
It's really a solid film. It didn't make a lot of money. It made 1.8 million on a $4 million budget, but like I don't know if it deserves like a second reimagining. It's been 15
It
years.
is so overlooked. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean literally it's a 15-year anniversary, and so it's like check it out. If you I mean even if you don't like Kevin Smith movies, it's still a good
And
intense
that's the
thriller.
thing is where can you check it out though? Unless you have physical media or you're pirating or streaming, like that's right there is the importance of physical media. Because
Yeah,
that
man.
movie they tried to stop immediately and it's been
Well,
hard to get since it came out.
what I've been recently doing is I've been starting to rebuy VHSs. So I
Hell
just got
yes.
Blair Witch, I got Pulp Fiction, I got Videodrome.
Oh,
So
nice.
I'm trying to like get my VHS because I've got hundreds of DVDs and I've got a few 4Ks, but I'm like I want to get the stuff that like you can't get anymore.
I'm glad to see VHS is coming back because I love VHS. Going to the store and seeing all the covers and just what are
Yeah.
we picking out this weekend?
Such a special time that I miss, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, Soggy, you got any last minute thoughts on Red State before we wrap up here?
Check it out if you haven't. Find a copy of it, ask around, get it. It's worth watching. I loved it. Always have.
Yeah, it's a lot of, just saying how difficult it is to get. Same with Dogma. Dogma is like you can't
Yeah.
find that anywhere. So I don't know why Kevin Smith has
So
such trouble.
recently he could because Weinstein was holding it hostage with Dogma is what happened there. But
Mm,
he finally got the rights back to it and they did release some new anniversary editions last year.
I gotta get in
So
on that. Yeah,
yeah.
because I have a bunch of his stuff, but I don't have Dogma, so I gotta get in on that. But
Hell yeah.
well, Soggy, thank you so much, man. This was a lot of fun. It's so nice to have like a Kevin Smith expert, a horror movie lover. So I really appreciate you, man. And thank you so much for supporting us on Whatnot too, man. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys more than you know.
Well, thanks again, man. And we'll definitely have you back on when we do Tusk, which I'd like to do pretty soon. So I'll be reaching out to you sooner than you think. But thank
I'm
you.
around.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you everybody for listening in so much to our discussion on Red State today. We'll be back next week with something very special. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but I got a good idea. It's going to be something special. So we'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much, and bye bye.